Hello and welcome to another episode of my Productivity Mastery series. And in today's episode, I want to explain to you 5 reasons why your to-do list manager or even your to-do list is not working for you. Now, this is something that I see all over the place when I'm working with clients in my coaching program, and even when I'm working with some of my English language students. I find that when they do have a to-do list, which actually is a very, very good first step, the way they're writing, the way they're actually setting up their to-do list, it's not actually working for them, so they end up not getting all their tasks completed that they want to complete, and then they just give up. But the thing is, if you actually start using a to-do list, then you are actually 9/10 of the way there to becoming much more productive. So I want to give you 5 reasons why your to-do list might not actually be working for you, or certainly might not be working for you in the most effective way. So the first one is that the way you're writing tasks is not very clear. And what I mean by this is some people are in such a rush to capture their task that they actually just write something like dog or bank or credit card or kitchen. And it's fine when you write the task. When immediately you write that task down, of course you know immediately what you mean. But let's say that it's 2 days before you can process your inbox, and you come to your inbox 2 days later and you see something like bank. Now, what does that mean? What do you have to do? Obviously, it involves the bank, but what do you actually have to do? Do you have to go to the bank? Do you have to call the bank? Do you have to find your bank books? What exactly does it mean? So what you need to do is you need to make your tasks very, very clear. One of my favorite expressions is when you're writing a task in your present intelligent self, you need to be writing them for your future dumb self. And that's a really good way to think about it. So if you do have something like bank, and it's because you need to call the bank about a credit card statement or something, then you want to write call the bank regarding this month's credit card statement, or buy new dog food, or find out the measurements of our kitchen unit tops, something like that. But you need to be really, really clear about the way you're writing tasks. It's like what you're looking for is to avoid any possibility of procrastination, and that means you'd be very specific about what the task is. The next one, number 2, is the way that you're writing the task is too big. Now, what I mean by this is I see a lot of people who will write something like write report or create presentation. Now, that's actually much better than just writing presentation or report, and you're using an action verb like write or create. The problem again, though, is usually a report is not something you're going to be able to do in, say, 30 minutes or an hour. If you can, that's fantastic. But the chances are a report is going to take a number of hours to do, and your brain knows this. So when you see write report, you think, oh, I'm not in the mood to do this. And sure enough, you don't do it. It is far better to break a big task like that down into something like begin writing report or continue creating presentation. It's just a much better way of writing the task, because when you say begin writing report, well, that means that you might want to spend just 20 minutes writing the report. You might have an hour, but at least it's giving you that option. But write report has that sort of feeling that you have to write it and finish it. And that's one of the reasons why you're going to get turned off from doing that kind of task. So make it much easier on yourself and write it as something like begin writing report, or begin creating presentation, or continue writing report and continue creating presentation. You'll find that you're much more open to actually sitting down and doing the work. Number 3 is that you're dating everything. Now, what I mean by this is I see a lot of people who are collecting tasks all the time, and this is, so many people do this, is they feel they have to date everything. Now, the truth is you don't have to date everything, and actually it's a good idea not to date things unless they really have to be done on a specific day. Now, this is why the weekly review is so important. When you do a weekly review, you can review all the tasks that you have, and then you can decide, okay, I'll do that one on Tuesday and I'll do that one on Thursday, and oh, look at that, I've got Friday afternoon, I can do that one. And you can now pick and choose the tasks that you're going to do, and more importantly, when you're going to do them. Of course, if something is urgent and something actually has to be done today or tomorrow or next week, then of course you will date it immediately if you know it absolutely has to be done on that particular day. But if it doesn't, if it's not urgent, if it's something that you just have to do, then don't date it when you collect it. Date it when you're at your more relaxed, intelligent self. And there's that thing again. Think about when your intelligent present self, think about your future dumb self. But if you're dating everything when you come in, it means that you're adding dates randomly. And when you add dates randomly, you're going to have a lot of tasks on your today list that are really not that urgent and don't really need to be done today. And also there's no pattern. You're not actually having a pattern. You might have something like go buy new power cable from the tech store. And then you might have another one which is actually involves the other side of the city to go and buy some toys for your child. It's just randomly selected dates. You're much better dating things when you do your weekly review, when you have a much better idea of where and what you're going to be doing the following week. Number 4 is you have far too many tasks on your today list. Now, this is one of those things that I've written and we've spoken about in these videos before. The thing is, the realities of life is that you are going to get distracted. I mean, there's nothing you can do about that. Your phone is going to be ringing, your messages are going to be coming in, emails are coming in, and a lot of those emails, messages, and phone calls are going to be urgent, or at least somebody else is urgent. Now, if that somebody else is lower down the food chain than you, then maybe you can say no. But that person could be much higher up the food chain than you, and you can't say no, and therefore you actually have to just get on and do it. Well, if you've got 20 to 30 tasks on your today list to do today, and then your boss gives you a huge project to do in the morning, you're screwed. You're screwed from the word go. So it's far better to be much more realistic about how many tasks you can complete today. Now, last year I did a lot of research on myself, and this is, I admit, on myself. Realistically, when I take into account the number of distractions I'm going to get, the number of requests I'm going to get each day, realistically I can get done probably about 10 tasks a day. Now that's 10 tasks that I genuinely want to get done that day. That doesn't include the maybe 8 to 10 routine tasks that I have to do every single day. So in general, I'm completing 10 meaningful tasks a day that's moving my life forward. And I've probably got about, maybe about 8 to 10 routine tasks that don't take very long, but I want them on my to-do list that I can be reminded of. But the way I use flags in my to-do list manager, which is Todoist, means I can hide those out to the way while I'm getting on with my focused work. Now the final one, number 5, is you're not reviewing your days or your weeks with your calendar. Now, I've spoken again many times and written many times that your calendar is your most powerful productive tool. The reason being is that your calendar does not lie. It carries 24 hours every day, and that's exactly what you've got, 24 hours every day. Now, if you've got a day full of back-to-back meetings, and you've got 30 tasks on your to-do list, something's going to break. You're going to have to look at your calendar and say, right, I'm going to be in meetings all morning, which only gives me 4 hours in the afternoon of work. Well, you're not going to get 20 tasks done in that 4 hours unless they're really, really tiny tasks. So you're going to have to drop out some of those tasks and reschedule them for another day. And another one could be that you're sent on a training course somewhere. You've got 3 days away from the office, away from your home. It's a residential training course. You're not going to get a lot of your tasks completed during those 3 days because you're going to be training every single day. So it's like 8 hours of training. In the evening times, there's a good chance you're going to have team dinners. It's not going to happen. So you need to push off your task to another day. So you need to be looking at your calendar, not just when you do your weekly review, but when you do your daily mini review, so that you're fully aware of what you have scheduled for tomorrow when you're setting up your task list for the next day. Okay, so those are the 5 things that I think you need to be aware of when you're creating your task list. When you're aware of those things, you're going to make your task list far more effective for you, and it's going to work much better for you, and it's also going to avoid a lot of the overwhelm and avoid procrastination. So those 5 things are tasks. Your tasks are not clear. Make them really, really clear. Break your bigger tasks down into manageable tasks, something that might not take longer than, say, 30 to 60 minutes. Don't date everything. Date things when they genuinely have when they genuinely have a deadline that they actually need doing, then you can date it. If they don't, trust that your system has collected them and make sure you're doing your weekly review every week. Number 4 is reduce the number of tasks that you have on your task list every day. I know a lot of you are going to say, I can't, I have all this work to do. When you have that and you're not getting the work done every single day, then it's not working anyway. So you need to get more sharper with your prioritization. And the 5th one is you're not reviewing with your calendar. So start reviewing your mini reviews and your weekly reviews with your calendar right next to your to-do list, so you're fully aware of how busy you are on every single day. Well, I hope this has been useful for you. If you do like this video, don't forget, please click on that like button below. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, I would be really grateful if you would subscribe. Okay, just remains for me now to wish you all a very, very productive week. Thank you for watching this video. If you liked what you saw and you would like to learn more about becoming better organized and more productive, then get yourself enrolled in my free beginner's guide to creating your own COD system. And if you'd like to learn more about how I can help you, then visit my website at carlpullein.com. All the details are in the show notes below.